Hey, it's Ellie. Welcome back to another video, or hello if you are new. Today I am back in Summit Sanctuary, working just a little bit more on that Asian building that I was working on in the last episode. I'm gonna do the bear habitat, which, as I mentioned in the previous episode, is open compared to the rest of the building, which for the most part has roof over it, but the actual space where the bears are is fully outdoors. It's just the viewing area that is still indoors and part of the building. And it actually, I think it turned out pretty well. But the rest of this episode, I am finally going to start the golf course, which I am very excited about. And it's going to take me a very long time. I think it's at least 4 episodes. I want to say it's 5. It's a long, yeah, it's a while, and you'll see why as I start building it, because the space that I have set out for the golf course is massive, and I ended up making a pretty major mistake, which I don't know how I didn't catch this for so long. I really, I can't fathom, because I'm sure that I counted so many times, but I ended up making 10 holes instead of 9, and again, I don't know how that slipped by for so long, that there were 10 holes instead of 9, because I was, planning it out. I think originally, I don't know, I must have done something wacky when I was planning, because I literally did not notice until I was done with the zoo and I was going through and making all the signs for my zoo. And one of the things that I wanted to make signs for was the golf course specifically. I wanted to make a map for the golf course with the holes labeled, and you know, like a typical map that you would see of the hole on the course that lists how many yards or meters it is, any of the hazards like water, sand, whatever. There's the par, obviously you need to know how many shots it should take you to get a hole. But yeah, so I'm going through and I'm making the signs, and I get to the golf course and I take a screenshot of my golf course from an aerial screenshot, and then I, was filling in, making the holes and whatever, making the maps, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, wait a minute, there's 10 holes here. And I numbered them to make sure, and then I went in the game and I counted them again, and I don't know how it got by for me for so long. But I had made 10 holes. So in the end, since I was basically done with the zoo at that point, I didn't want to do a ton of work to fix it, so I ended up just combining 2 holes that were sort of around a waterfall area, which you will see shortly. And so that hole is very long, but that's okay, because sometimes golf courses have one really long hole that is kind of more difficult than the other. It has a high par and whatnot. So yeah, I want to say ahead of time, please disregard all of the rock work that I do. Whatever you see for rock work in these next few episodes is not what I've ended up going with for the final zoo tour. I redid all of the rock work. I, realized that I didn't think it looked all that nice eventually. So I updated it and it looks way, 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 way better now. But the general shape of everything is still there. Obviously, I did have to make some adjustments for having the terrain on the golf course. There's no way for me to make a nice green in this game. At least none that I found. So what I did was I just, you know, made sure it was short grass, and I, along the edges of all the holes, made sure that there was like long grass and more built up areas so that you could tell exactly where the actual hole is and where the, you know, outer bounds of it is. You will notice me raising up the actual hole, the green of the golf hole, and I don't know if I keep that for every single one, but that was another way that I sort of tried to distinguish where the actual hole was. And then obviously I have the flag, which is just a basic flag. I really wish there was a normal flag in this game, though. There actually isn't, and I don't know why that is. There's just, I couldn't really find anything that worked. There's a lot of like bunting and things, but it's way too long. It doesn't look normal when you put it for a golf hole. It just, I don't know. It was underwhelmed with my choices for flag in this game. It does seem like a simple golf flag would be a pretty common item. I don't know, I can think of a lot of flags like that that are in theme parks and zoos, so yeah, that was a little bit of a bummer. But in the end, it looks okay. I do think something I thought turned out really well in the golf course was the transition between the golf holes, and also making sure that each golf hole, especially the tee area, felt somewhat private. Because I've been to golf courses before, not many, but I have been to some where it just feels like you are teeing up in front of everybody, especially the ones that are like right outside the clubhouse, and it just, if you're not a good golfer like I am not, then it's a little embarrassing when you mess up really, really badly just in front of the clubhouse and everybody who's sitting around there watching. I'm sure nobody's really watching, but it just feels like they are, you know? So in this golf course, I did my best to make sure that each hole feels sort of private, and I think I managed to do that pretty well, because when I kind of go through the golf course, it does feel like you could almost forget that you're in a zoo temporarily. It does feel like you're just kind of on like a nature walk on a golf course. But of course, there are peafowls running everywhere, which, by the way, they are so cute in the golf course. I'm so glad I picked those animals for the animal on the to be on the actual course, because they're just so funny, and they had a ton of babies, and they just kind of lay around, and I imagine that they would be on an actual golf course if they ever had the option to be. I feel like they wouldn't mind. But yeah, that's gonna be just about the end of my narration here. I will leave you with the rest of the speed build and some relaxing music. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more content from me. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, bye!